me tell you, we have a new star. A star is born, Elon. Elon Musk told me he's the greatest. I would say, you got to say, in terms of computer, I would say he's probably about as good as you get. Elon is a patriot. You know, I wanted to find somebody smarter than him. I searched all over. I just couldn't do it.
You trust Elon. I mean, you can't imagine a scenario where you would have to rail him in or set up guardrails for him.
Well, I think I have guardrails. Yeah, Elon is somebody that I have a lot of respect for, but you have to have guardrails. He reports to me, and he's doing a fantastic job. I wanted somebody who's extremely intelligent. He's that. He's also a good cost cutter.
Yeah, no, he's not any of those things. Not extremely intelligent, not doing good cost cutting. There were not actually guardrails, and I don't think he's the best in terms of computer. But anyway, we might not have to worry about him as much on a daily basis because it is really looking like the honeymoon is over and the relationship might be broken, at least publicly. Elon Musk was a daily presence, a daily burden, and it cost him significantly. It cost his businesses, which we're gonna talk about later, but it really seems as if he's gone because don't really see him much in DC anymore. And there's a couple different signs that the honeymoon might be over, starting with Donald Trump. He's not really talking about him on Truth Social anymore. At one point, he was posting about Musk an average of 4 times per week. This is throughout February and March, okay? He hasn't mentioned him once since the start of April. And I will remind you, it's May now. It has been 7+ weeks that he has not mentioned Elon Musk, the smartest guy he was able to find. So he seems to have moved on. On the other side of that social media relationship, until early April, Musk posted about Trump on his Twitter account almost every day. So he was always the more needy part of the relationship. But posts where Trump is mentioned have tailed off. And so you might be wondering, well, why? And there are a couple different theories. Some people, and I'm kind of sympathetic towards this view, think he accomplished everything he wanted to do in government. He got in the systems, God only knows what he put there. He killed some contracts, he did some awful homophobic stuff. He did that sort of stuff and now he's ready to move on. Or he did what we always said was gonna happen, which is he got bored because he's not a serious person and he constantly needs some new hobby. But there's other explanations too. It might be that it just wasn't working with him being a public figure, and he wasn't as persuasive nor as charming or funny or awesome in the public eye as he thought he was going to be. Remember, he got involved with that Wisconsin Supreme Court race, thought he could buy that thing like he bought the presidential election. He got run all the way out of there. And that, coupled with the devastating polls about him, might have made him, or more likely those around him, like reconfigure, like maybe you're not a person for the public eye. Maybe this is not actually working out so well. There's one GOP operative who unfortunately is anonymous, but says he's finished, done, gone. He polls terribly, people hate him. He'd go to Wisconsin thinking he could buy people's votes, wear the cheese hat, act like a 9-year-old. It doesn't work, it's offensive to people. Which is true. Not all of that's true. I think he acts like someone significantly younger than 9, but yeah, seeing him is offensive to people. It hurts the eyes, it hurts the ears, and most importantly, it hurts the brain because he's terrible. And so the official White House account, some of Trump's senior advisors, they haven't mentioned Musk either. And we know many of them hadn't liked Musk even back during the period where Trump did, but it seems like the break is pretty clear at this point. The president has stopped using Musk's name to raise money in emails. He'd been doing a lot of talk about doggy for a while, that's done. Musk was mentioned almost daily until early March, and since then only one message, including him, was sent out touting a Gulf of America cap he once wore, which is barely a mention at all. And the White House has said that doggy will continue, but won't mention Musk in relation to it. So it's just gonna be the little boys or whatever going around firing people who know what the job is when they don't. And so I think this is part of a conscious effort to rebrand himself. He saw that the American people were turning against him because he sucks. And every time they see him on screen, it's a reminder of that. And I'll remind everyone of how bad the polls were getting. So we have a comparison here between December of last year and April. And so 44% were very or somewhat favorable. He lost 8 points in just a few months. He lost a fourth of the remaining Democratic support for him. He lost half of the independent support he had just from December to April. And even 6% of Republicans lost interest in him during that time. And that looks bad, but it's way worse than you might at first think when you remember that's comparing it to December of last year. We already knew who he was at that point. He'd already bought the election. He'd already done his little big boy jumps. I don't think he'd yet done the Nazi salute, but it had already been years of him being an anti-Semitic, racist, homophobic troll online. So you had already had his reputation take a beating, and this was a reminder of how much worse it could get for him, how much worse it did get. And I think that's why they've cut ties. He was an anchor weighing down the Trump administration, and now things can go back to the way they should for the Trump administration, where they are losing approval all on their own. They don't need Elon Musk's help. Donald Trump's stupidity, his rotting brain, his terrible policies, that's what should be sinking his approval ratings. And that's the way it's working now.